What is the worst movie you've ever seen? No, I'm not talking about Transformers 2 or Grown Ups 2. I mean a movie so bad, so fundamentally broken, that it leaves a pit in your stomach or makes you feel frustrated and angry beyond any reasonable measure. This is a question I've been asking myself for a while, and I think it's about time to do something about it. So I've pulled up the list of the bottom 100 lowest rated movies on IMDb, and I'm going through them one by one to find the worst movie ever. Welcome to the search for the worst. Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain is the worst thing in the history of anything ever. And there was me, thinking it couldn't get much more terrible than something like Druids. It all stems from the title of this movie. What the hell does it even mean? I still don't really know. Okay, the Three Ninjas part makes a bit of sense because the main characters are ninjas, but what does High Noon have to do with anything? To tell the truth, I was actually kind of looking forward to watching this movie, because I saw on IMDb that it was listed as an action-adventure comedy, and picking apart bad comedies is pretty easy. I had this preconceived idea that this was going to be some weird adult comedy that failed so hard that I'd find it funny. Oh boy, was I wrong. In fact, I don't think I've ever been more wrong in my entire life. This movie goes against everything I stand for as a human. It offends me right down to my very core. So let's delve in and just get it over with. The movie opens with a mysterious speech as the credits appear over blackness.
Centuries ago, a village in Japan lived in peace.
You're left there, just waiting, imagining the exciting action scene that's going to start the movie off with a bang. Then boom! The title of the movie commands itself to the screen in the most extreme and exaggerated way I've ever seen. I really have no idea why I was so excited at this point. But who cares, it's living up to all my expectations. Oh shit. No. Please God, no. Please. I can't even begin to describe how much my heart sank when in the first shot of the film we were introduced to the three little gobshite ninjas, Rocky, Colt and Tum Tum. So it's gonna be one of those movies, is it? Only God can help me now. So with no explanation at all, some Asian bloke forces a small group of children to complete a set of extremely dangerous challenges, because movie. Then after they horribly fail the challenge, the Asian bloke congratulates them, probably because he doesn't know how to speak English properly.
Congratulations! You all passed with flying colors!
Then we find out that all these kids are actually brothers or something, and this old Asian guy is their grandpa.
What gives, Grandpa? I thought you'd be proud of us. We got the sword.
Then these stupid assholes explain that the reason they're doing these completely dangerous challenges in a dark warehouse owned by their grandfather is because they do ninja training in their summer break.
Ninja training is cool and all, but this summer was definitely my last.
So it goes without saying that the dialogue and acting is fucking atrocious throughout the entire movie, and this opening scene is nearly pointless, apart from a forced callback to it right at the very end. Randomly we cut to an old battered boat in the middle of the ocean where these people who we've never been introduced to before are preparing dangerous and violent looking equipment. Then it just cuts straight back to the goofy main characters who see their parents, who by the way blatantly aren't Asian at all. So what's the deal with this grandpa? Is it just a nickname? If so, why are they letting their kids stay with a random old Asian guy who's training them to be murdering psychopaths?
Anything the matter, Dad?
Oh wait, so it really is her dad. So why isn't everyone in the family Asian?
Once a ninja, always a ninja.
He's a terrible actor who can barely speak English, and his character would be no different if he was some random American grandpa who happened to be a ninja. You might think I'm looking too much into this stupid kids movie, but you just wait. So the Three Ninjas' dad awkwardly forces in the fact that he works for the FBI into normal conversation with his family, who would already know this.
I gotta get back to work. The FBI waits for no man.
I wonder why he needs to state that he works for the FBI. I bet that won't come up again. Tum Tum is watching TV and this weird TV show starring Hulk Hogan is on. This is actually important to the plot, so pay attention. Hulk beats up a bunch of random dudes and says,
"According to the ratings, most kids don't believe in heroes anymore."
The thing I find weird is that he's hardly a hero. All we ever see him do is brutally attack people and kick the shit out of them. We don't know why or who these poor people being attacked even are. Anyway, Hogan explains how his show's going to be cancelled, and he says his last show ever is going to be at Mega Mountain. Then it's back to the ship with the people preparing weapons or whatever. We then learn what this whole thing's about. It turns out these people on the boat are terrorists who are planning to stage an attack on the theme park Mega Mountain. The same theme park Tum Tum and his bastard brothers are going for Tum Tum's birthday. Yes, this really is the plot of the movie. The next day, these random-ass people move in next door to the three ninja kids. The only reason any of this is shown is so they can introduce this horrible nerd stereotype character who is basically a Deus Ex Machina get-out-of-jail-free card for any situation. She carries around these weird James Bond-esque toys and things that are all actually violent weapons designed to horribly murder. The film's reasoning for why she has these toys is because her dad makes movies, and shows her how to make these things because they're in the movie. What?
My dad and I were working on these for his new movie.
What are we gonna do? Beat him at Go Fish?
Hey, what about me? Tum-Tum, wait. They're smoke bombs. They explode on impact.
Then for absolutely no reason at all, the ninja's mum invites the next door neighbour they just met to go along with them to Mega Mountain for Tum Tum's birthday. Then they go to Mega Mountain and do something I can't remember because it's so fucking boring. Which is followed by a scene where the terrorists on a bunch of jet skis drive towards Mega Mountain and infiltrate it through some underground sewer system or something with highly advanced equipment. Now I'm not sure if you noticed back when they were riding the jet skis, but not even one of these people are the actors who play the terrorists. They clearly show a really fat guy, a lady, and a Jamaican guy for some reason, as well as some others. And none of these people on the jet skis even remotely resemble any of them. They obviously just got a bunch of random people who know how to drive jet skis to just sort of drive around menacingly. Then they all do this dolphin dive thing with the jet skis, and suddenly they all have scuba gear and their jet skis have vanished. Then once they get out the scuba gear, the Jamaican guy is still wearing his hat and the lady character has perfect hair. Where even are they? Is it nighttime? Why are they doing this? Then they all just walk into the park with disguises anyway, rendering their entire plan completely useless to begin with. Oh look, that guy fell over and they still use the take. Huh. Then for about 3 minutes the movie turns into an advert for Mega Mountain. They just go on rides and we're supposed to care because they're having fun, I guess. Then the terrorists go around the park attacking people and threatening them with highly powerful machine guns. It dawned on me at about this time that I think that this movie was trying to do some kind of Die Hard for kids thing, but it just ends up being really jarring and nonsensical because it goes from being really light-hearted to horrible extreme violence. It feels like two different movies have been crudely smashed together to form a horrible abomination no one should ever have to endure. At one point the terrorists go to the park's main control center and no one really cares or reacts. They're probably thinking, wait, why are terrorists trying to invade a theme park? Are they retarded or something? They even reuse the same lady who previously got beaten up because they're so lazy. So now, finally, 20 minutes into the movie, we find out why the terrorists are doing this. Their ingenious plan is to hold the park hostage so the owner of the park will give them $10 million. Oh, fucking Christ. And if they don't get the money, they're going to start murdering people. Not with the highly powerful machine guns of death they carefully snuck into the building, but by speeding up the rides people are on until they die of boredom or something.
I'm afraid I'm all thumbs. What would happen if I accidentally increased Raging Water's speed another 20 miles an hour? Those turns would be awfully hard to maneuver.
You wouldn't.
I would. And I will. If you don't pay me $10 million.
Something happens which leads to Hulk Hogan getting shot with a tranq dart, and the three ninjas end up being pursued in a highly uncomfortable chase scene. There is something quite disturbing about grown men with murder weapons chasing innocent children around a theme park they are holding hostage for $10 million under the threat of torture through the use of theme park rides. Well, I guess that's more of a nitpick. Then finally, we actually get our first fight scene from the ninjas, and it's actually kind of entertaining. For a couple of seconds at least. Although it was quite weird when one of the kids turned into Spider-Man for that one fight. But whatever. But there was one thing that really started to piss me off with the fight scenes. Literally. No, I mean literally. Every single time one of the ninjas does a ninja move, they scream, So this sort of terrible cat and mouse awfulness goes on until the police arrive. The terrorists then open fire at the police in an area with hundreds of innocent children. The ninja's FBI dad appears and is all like, "Is your neighbour with you? Is she alright?"
Is Amanda with you?
Despite the fact he has never even seen or met her before, because they moved in next door about 6 hours ago, and are already being held captive by terrorists. Then the main villain suddenly explains how she was only looking for a quick score to get out of the country.
And she's rumored to be looking for a quick score to get out of the country.
Now I know this is supposed to be some kind of innocent kids movie, but that might be the stupidest thing that anyone has ever said, ever. Oh, I know. I want a quick load of cash, so I'm going to plan an elaborate raid on an amusement park and hold it up for hours on end and threaten to kill hundreds of innocent civilians. Seems pretty covert and easy to me. The kids for no reason just sort of come up with this idea that there's a master control for the whole park.
Which means somewhere inside the park there must be some kind of master control.
So Amanda MacGuffin here hacks all the rides to stop them from being dangerous, while the Three Stooges chase around the ninjas in a really awful and unfunny chase sequence.
You couldn't hit an elf in the butt with a bazooka!
What? The three ninjas make good use of their ninja training by horribly torturing and attacking the Three Stooges. And right after this very line of dialogue I'm about to show you, I just put my head in my hands and started weeping.
Hey man, check this out.
These scenes just keep going on until the movie finally ends after the ninjas somehow fire a bomb into the boat shown earlier, which kills everyone. There is only one word I can think of to describe this movie. Inappropriate. From this scene...
Maybe I'll show you mercy and make you my boy toy.
Thanks. I'd rather be eaten alive by wolves.
To when one of the terrorists tries to butcher a small child with a sword. This movie just has no idea what it's doing. I said, "Oh my god?" out loud multiple times when I was watching this. I couldn't believe what was happening. And I thought the tone of the Transformers movies was weird and unbalanced. The thing is, you just can't have a children's movie where the plot is a bunch of terrorists invade a theme park and threaten to murder everyone. Are the people who made this movie fucking insane? What the hell was wrong with them? Take a step back and really think about the thought process that went behind making this movie. It kind of has a budget. There were plenty of people working on it. Just think, someone sat down and actually wrote this as a script. This movie goes beyond an abomination. It's a celebration of lazy filmmaking topped with a tone that makes me want to take a shower every time I even think about it. Druids is a masterpiece in comparison to this. At least I had a good laugh from the complete ineptitude of that movie. Well, I guess this movie is inept as well, but in such a clueless and insulting way that it makes me writhe and sweat in how uncomfortable it is. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Avoid this movie at all costs. And Christ, this is only the second movie in the search for the worst. What in God's name have I agreed to?
Okay, folks, what's up next in the search for the worst? Place your bets now.
Oh no. Well, there it is, the second episode in the search for the worst. Make sure you check out the first episode if you haven't yet, and why not check out some of my other videos while you're there? Might as well, right? And as always, thanks for watching, all comments and ratings are appreciated. I'll see you next time, bye.